to Unfiltered Common Sense, the podcast where no topic is off limits. We talk politics, religion, culture, and everything people are too scared to say out loud. No filters, no scripts, no nonsense. Just real conversations on quackenchannel topics fix. Nothing wrong, sticks save it
Hello, I'm Xavier,
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
and welcome to Unfiltered Common Sense, where we talk about literally anything and everything.
And the messy things of life.
We love throwing the ground and having the conversations about things, but
And-
nobody wants to vocalize.
Nobody wants to put in their 2 cents.
Nobody wants to do their own kind of research for the actual truth.
So here we are, Unfiltered Common Sense.
So I used to listen to, I still listen to it, called And We Know, and the way the guy that does that one,
Mm-hmm.
it's all very obvious answers with all the things that they talk about. So realistically, being my background of 19 years doing what I do, and obviously whatever your background is, I think that can show everybody in general that you can be from a variety of places and still have an opinion on things.
Yeah, because personally, background is pretty extensive. I've worked retail, education. I've done a lot of different jobs out there, so I get that. We all do have
Absolutely.
opinions, but we're not as well as others.
The sad thing is when you do work like I do,
Yeah.
your opinion is heavily meant to be kept to yourself.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
now granted, yes, it doesn't work. The whole objective is just to get the job done. And I'll say this, get home safely.
right. And see, I work in education, and it's pretty much the same thing, you know. It's run by a very biased community in the education field, and if your opinions are not the same as theirs, they find a way to disengage with you and push you out. So I get that.
Question on that. So when it comes to education, like stuff that you hear in the news about how it's all indoctrination and such, is that actually true, or is it just very biased?
I believe that it's to an extent, because here we are, my husband and I are both of 2 different generations, and we are both highly believe in the education system, especially with children with disabilities, because we can't do it on our own. And so I believe to an extent there is probably some indoctrination to, the way we live in society, but probably not as much as people believe to be. Could be wrong. Seen podcasts and both mention homeschooling your kids because of the indoctrination, but I don't know if I necessarily believe in that. I just think that there's things that schools can teach kids we at home can't. So I could have the wrong opinion.
I think there's pros and cons.
I agree.
I'll say this much to just start it off. I remember being really young, and you'd start the morning off with the Pledge of Allegiance. That's it. It was just very simple, and it felt like a very good way to start the morning off, you know?
Right. And we'll
And
always remember all the words to that one.
if you don't remember the words to that, then I'm just going to say it, get the hell out of the country.
Right. And I think the people that don't believe in it are more indoctrinated than we are, maybe. because I love my country. I love where I live. I just wish that prices weren't as high and I could live on the income that I make. But
So I read this. It was actually a CNN article, out of all places, and it's killing me that I can't remember the author of it because he's actually one of the better anchors on CNN. But he reminded everybody in the article that no matter who the president is, whether it's a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, it is, I think he said, 500 times easier to set a country back in time, essentially, um, undo progress, for lack of better terms, than it is to get the country back on the right track. So the example that he gave was if you set the country back 1 year, you're looking at a minimum of 4 years to make up for that 1 year of going backwards.
sure.
And I think the biggest fallacy that I've seen from a lot of people is a lot of people just say, oh, I hate this person, whoever it may be, whether it be Trump, um, Biden, Obama, whoever. And then you ask, okay, what has this person done for you? Like, what have they actually done that's had a positive impact on you? I
Well,
can honestly say that in 8 years of Obama, 4 years of Biden, and 5 years and change under Trump, they're lucky if they can say three things between Biden and Obama.
well, I can tell you before Obama, I had money in the bank, and now I'm living with nothing in the bank. So it's like I think Obama made things kind of worse for us people working class because there's no money in the bank, and like here I am in my 40s and I don't have the things that I did whenever I was in my 20s. Had money in the bank and I was living life as a military wife at the time, and we had money in the bank and we were doing great. And now it's like there's no money in the bank. We're living off of other means, and inflation is high, and I cannot believe the price of life. And so it's like, what are they doing to make things better for us? Because it feels like it's just getting worse after Obama, or even as he took over.
I will say this, that there's I'm trying to tread lightly with this, even though it's just completely unfiltered.
Sure.
Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people that have told me, oh, this person's racist, that person's racist, this person's divisive, that person's divisive. When you hear a certain person say that, oh, I heard for the brothers out there, referring to the Black community,
Sure.
if you're not going to vote for your sister, that's racist. If you hear a current president, well, he's former, but
If you're not
the guy
Black.
before the current one, say, if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't Black. That's right.
And that's a very hot topic because in my opinion, people who throw that word around racist are the racists, and I could be wrong, and I that's how I feel. It's like we all bleed red, and no matter what you say or do, you're not better than the next person. And so throwing those words around just makes you look silly, in my opinion, because you could call anybody any name you want. It's still not going to change their opinion and thoughts and the way they feel, I guess.
The thing that really offends me is, now granted, I didn't like vocally say I was offended by it, but when I would go to somebody above me would tell me, "Oh, it's the conservative. Oh, it's the Trumper.
Sure.
Oh, your daddy Trump did this or your daddy Trump did that." And I'm just sitting there like, why? What is the point of this? And all the while, all I'd want to do is say,
Okay.
insult me all you want, but that's your commander in chief.
Right.
So would you say that to me in front of him? No, the answer is you
No.
wouldn't. And when that individual, I'm not going to say his name, but I wish I could.
Would they be,
Um,
if he was in their presence, do you think they go, yes, daddy? They probably wouldn't.
I wish, I kind of wish, because if that was the case, I'd be like, oh, he just owns you right there. No, but it's the hypocrisy of when your supervisor tells you if it's not something you would say in front of your mother, don't say it. I'm like,
Right.
you wouldn't say this in front of your mother. I know you wouldn't. And I know you wouldn't say this in front of the commander in chief, so why are you saying it to me?
It's crazy how people are so easily offended by a human and a human in charge. Even with like Joe Biden, we used to call him Uncle Joe. We're like, oh yay, Uncle Joe gave us some money. But we never like really like wanted death upon him. We're just thinking like,
No,
what is he
no,
thinking? He can't even speak.
I disagreed with 99% of everything he said. Now, granted,
What did he do?
once in a blue moon, I would agree. Remember, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So every once in a blue moon, he'd say something, and I would say, okay, sure, I'll agree with you.
Especially whenever you work for him, you'd probably have to agree somewhere.
Right. Wish death, ill will, or anything to him.
Right.
You know, I was just very disappointed that of all people, he became president.
Right.
And I've looked at every chart, every graph, everything for elections dating back to the early 90s. And nobody can explain where 20 million votes randomly appeared. And now
Oh, they know.
you have the 20.
They
you
know.
have
They're
the
just not
2024.
willing to say.
Oh, yeah, it's all illegal votes.
And I truly believe that Donald Trump wasn't supposed to be president because Hillary Clinton was, and it was rigged for her to win, and somehow that all became crazy. But hey, like I said, I couldn't be wrong too.
There's a video I'm going to send you. And if there's any way to upload it to this, maybe not this episode, but like
Sure.
one down the road, there's a video where there's a he's like some, I don't know, digital guru or some cybersecurity guy. He's in Atlanta, Georgia, testifying, and he openly tells them he has irrefutable evidence that he's going to walk them through to prove to the Georgia legislature that they cheated, meaning the Georgia legislature. And they tried to cut his scene out of the interview. And then it was caught. And then he reinstated it so that you can actually hear everything that was said, everything that was done. And pretty much the Georgia officials, all they could say was, well, we'll take this under advisement. You know, we'll get back to you. We'll circle back around. And he pretty much told them, no, you need to see that I have the proof that you guys botched this. So, I mean, I couldn't care less who somebody is. I'm not for cheating, and I'll just make this simple analogy. Grew up a Red Sox fan. Everybody knows the Red Sox Yankees rivalry. And I could not stand it when the Yankees won. Now, granted, if they came out and they actually came out to play and they did really well, and the Red Sox didn't, then okay, well, we lost. But if the umpires are calling a horrible game and there was a lot of questionable calls, then yes, the mentality we would have is, oh, they were biased and they were giving more good calls to the Yankees versus the Red Sox. It's the same concept here. I honestly don't care who wins an election. Obviously, I hope the person that I vote for does.
Right.
But if you're going to pull shady, sketchy stuff, I'm not trying to curse, and you're caught red-handed where there's too many red flags, I'm sorry, I'm going to call BS on the other side. Sorry, that's my rant.
Right. I mean, these last, what has it been? It's been over a decade now. It's been wildly crazy, and all the opinions that people have on the last decade, it's going to definitely be probably removed from the history because nobody's going to be telling the truth. And so they're going to be rewriting the history books, and people are going to go, that's not what I remember. And then they're going to go, oh, it's the Mandela effect. And so here we are living life, and us people who are in our 40s and 50s will be 20 years from now, 10 years from now, they're going to be, oh, you guys are crazy living in an alternate universe because of this. Because they want you to believe the things that they want you to believe. They don't want you to believe what you see in front of your own eyes, too.
You know, my wife and I have had our ups and downs with things, and hands down, she tells me, worry about the things you can control. So conveniently, I give her the same advice back.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you really want to know how to improve your quality of life in any aspect, just focus on the things that you can control.
Sure.
Now, on the same token here, just also remember that if you firmly believe in something based on facts, stand by your convictions. Like, it's that simple. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but the 90-10 theory. So you have 100 people.
Tell me about it.
If 10 people believe something based on fact, irrefutable fact, and 90 people believe something else that is false, that's not based on fact, it's just based on false narrative, because it's the more popular opinion, the 90 are correct and the 10 are wrong. And I've heard that from SEALs, people in the service, government contractors, you name it. And it's one of the biggest fallacies of society.
I probably will agree with that 100% because even in the workplace, 10 people will say, oh, I got that person fired. And the truth wasn't even that. You know, it's basically just like a situation that happened to me when I was a teacher. I had 2 students say that they got me fired, and that wasn't even the truth. But, you know, you and I have been talking for some months now on some different topics, how we want to talk about like transitioning out of high school and having a game plan. We've talked about the real estate.
I can talk for hours on that one.
And life, really. What was the other topics? Financials?
Finances, investing,
Finance and
stocks, pretty much making your money work for you.
Instead of you working for your money.
I still seem to do that every day. I don't know why.
That's just how it goes sometimes.
There were probably north of 20 topics.
Yeah.
And they're all good. Not all of them are sensitive.
Right.
But there are topics, and I'll just throw them on the table. Politics is probably one. religion. I don't know if it's going to be you or me that throws the grenade, but this whole transgender being
Transgender.
we
That's a
don't have to talk about
hot topic for sure.
No.
I have some great friends out there who are, but sometimes.
No, I can get along with anybody realistically as long as they treat me well.
Right, same here.
I'll save it for another episode down the road.
That is definitely.
But there's a conversation I had recently with a gentleman out here, and he brought up probably the strongest point he could have brought up. And even though he's a Democrat and I'm a Republican, him and I wholeheartedly agreed on it. But that's definitely for another episode.
Sure. And so
I guess the goal of
we're here because we want to educate people to make good choices and listen to the common sense of other people's ways of thinking and draw your own conclusion, but be sensible. Not everybody is rude and disrespectful to a point where we want you dead, but we definitely would like to hear other people's sides of the coin, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody is different. And so we're coming together as a group or a team or a panel one day, and we may have the conversations that are a little messy.
A little messy?
Or it could be messy.
You know they're coming. So I guess for everybody, the goal is for us to get a Facebook page fully up and maybe eventually have an email address where you can email me and my counterpart here. And if you have a question, you have a concern,
or topic
you want us to talk about, email it to us. Once we get the email up, and if we don't get to it right away, we will get to it.
We're definitely not like your regular podcast where you'll see a webpage or anything like that. You'll be seeing our community, because we're trying to grow a community of people who want to know the questions of why without attacking each other in conversation. It's more like a chill conversation, but you may not agree. You can agree or disagree, and we will find a way of, coming together as that community and researching some of the topics that might concern everybody in around the world. We might be able to enlighten people.
Onto it.
Yeah.
This is not scripted.
Definitely, this is not scripted.
There's too many breaks and awkward moments where we're trying to figure out what we're trying to say. But
for now, until we figure our where we work things out, because it's always a process. I was part of a podcast where we were all scripted, and one person chose to talk all the time, and the other two were like bobbleheads nodding and occasionally humming and hawing and saying yep. And I don't want that to be this one. I want us to have a good community and conversation. So
just remember, cover your kids' ears. This is Unfiltered.
This is Unfiltered. And we might drop the F-bomb. Who knows?
I'm putting money on it's going to be you first.
Hey, we should see. For future episodes, see if Jennifer drops the F-bomb.
If it's me first,
don't be surprised.
Yeah, well, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. Well, we'll close it out, and until next time.
Until next time.
Here's
Here's
everyone.
to you.
Later.
Thanks for listening to Unfiltered Common Sense, the indie podcast where no topic is off limits. We talked truth, challenged ideas, and said the quiet parts out loud. If today's episode made you think, laugh, question something, or even disagree, then we did our job. Don't forget to follow, share, and join us next time for more real conversations with no filters and a whole lot of common sense. Until then, stay bold, stay curious, and keep thinking for yourself.